I need some light in the front of my body. That's better, I think. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the program. It is Sunday. It is me. I am freezing. Everything's okay. I've got these on black, as you may be able to see now. Okay, they're underwear. It's totally fine. I have a United wipe in my pocket I just found that they give you on the plane to wipe shit down because it's filthy. This is... I can't get settled. This is Sunday. I'm in my underwear. I have coffee here already, and I'm pouring it nice in a cup in a hotel. Hardy, can we see it? We can't even see it. Oh, who gives a shit? Friday was my birthday. It was a lovely time. That's it. I go back to being against celebrating. I don't know how comfortable I feel celebrating. I don't feel right celebrating. I feel sort of forced celebrating because it's not, fills me with dread. I don't know if it used to excite me. Did birthdays ever excite me? It used to make me emotional. I got a bevy of gifts. I got an iWatch so I can be more concerned about my health. I got wonderful pants, shirts, multiple black shirts. What else did I get? I also have a package at home from Christine that I haven't touched. So who knows what it could be. That's awaiting me. People were sending so many well wishes. This is a question. People seem to be these people still wishing people birthdays on Facebook. I think that's weird. If you have not already, I behoove you, I beseech you, I implore you to watch the latest AEW with Brody King. It was a surprise. It was last minute. It was filmed at Pro Wrestling Tees in Chicago. That's how recent it is. I fuck up in the episode. We talk about choking and hardcore music and ice and puddle of mud, everything you could ever want to talk about. Go watch, go like, go comment, go share it, go tell everyone that they should watch it too. That would be really nice for me and him. He seems like a nice fella, despite the rage and violence. Joe said, good morning, everyone. Happy belated birthday. I'm looking forward to my Thursday. Dara said, good morning. Sean said, hey, occulties. Better now. I'm exhausted. Mike said, good morning, everyone. Mass Sanity. James Benton said, good morning. No Mix. Nail said, good morning and happy birthday to RJ, me, Rob, which is Mr. Nails in New York, Mr. Man in New York, and me as Dad, which ultimately no one cares about. Ellie said, good morning. Ash said, good morning. So Sierra said, good morning. Emmanuel said, relatable cartoon dog, underdog or Huckleberry Hound? A Huckleberry Hound. I think I feel like him today. I find him relatable immediately. Leo said, is it live? Well, it said it's live. Today's Evil Uno's birthday. It was also this week Anna Jay's birthday, QT, Bobby Lashley, Excalibur. Too many birthdays, quite frankly. Dara said, RJ, is there a meet and greet after the comedy show on Thursday? And is it only for those with VIP tickets? Or can a poor peasant with general admission like me come and say hi? Thank you for reminding me, Dara. I will remind everyone, even though I'm pretty sure it's sold out now, this Thursday, 8 p.m., Lincoln Lodge in Chicago. Me and a dried-up blood Colt Cabana, along with Kyle Fletcher, Sky Blue, Harley Cameron, Willow Nightingale, and God knows what else. The way it works is this. The show is an hour and 15, an hour and a half, goes quite quickly. When it is done, we go into this sort of green room. We have tables full of merchandise and what have you. And you're able to come up and say hi. You're able to come up and take a picture. You're able to come up and do whatever the fuck you want. Not just for VIP, Anyone can come up. Even if you're not going to buy stuff, you can come say hello. You can come take a picture. It's totally, totally fine. If you are VIP, you get those front few rows seating, and you get that poster signed by everybody, which is a nice piece. So yeah, you'll be fine. I'll have to say hi to you, unfortunately. AQ said, good morning, great hey W, and happy birthday. Elena said happy birthday. Christine is here. David is here because he's guilt-ridden that he missed my birthday. Happy birthday, RJ. I love you, and I love you all. Why don't you say I love you all then? I'm in all. Am I not? Or am I different from all, which I find more insulting than not being loved? Nell said you can get lots of pretty straps for your watch to match outfits. So my concern with this is that it's too much reading. I think, I won't be on my phone so much, but because I'm on my watch. I also don't like doing this. I'm going to see how it goes. Give me a week. Leo said, did you like your King of the Hill voice note? Leo sent me a voice note for my birthday because he's such a gem. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. This was Leo's King of the Hill, a voice message he sent me.
Hey, Bobby, look. There's that RJ City guy you like. Why don't you go over there and tell him how much you like him? Oh, Dad, I heard he's rude. I don't want to go over there. I don't want to bother him. Well, son, when I was your age, I met Johnny Carson. Lots of people told me that he was rude, but he was an upstanding gentleman with a nice firm handshake. So I want you to go over there and tell that man how much you like him.
So the Hank Hill breathiness is there. The tone is there. The Southern accent is not there. And I assume it's very hard as a British person to have to, you just want to go to generic American, which I understand. I think you need to learn better what sounds like country and what sounds like something else, because in many instances there, and even with the Bobby Hill, which is quite frankly a write-off, you get into this New York kind of thing. And I think that's throwing you off. That's keeping you from the full potential of Hank. Don't worry about Bobby. There's no money in a Bobby Hill impression. There's money in a Hank Hill impression. We've known that from the beginning. This isn't about being a big shot. Don't take risks in this business, in the voice message impression business. Stick to what works. And what works is Hank Hill. Add the Southern, and then we're off and running. You're wasting your time with Bobby Hill. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Time and time again. Christine said, David. I've missed my place now. Oh, God, I'm so far behind and back. Christine said, David, I'm coming to Niagara Falls to see you in October. And David, maybe I'll go to Niagara Falls to see him in October. Who knows? Mike said, have you seen Richie Valens in the Four Seasons play recently? Fuck you. Poor Richie looks like a zombie and lives in. Okay, so I confused Richie Valens with Frankie Valli. I operate at such a high speed that sometimes mistakes happen. Brody threatened me to keep that in the fucking episode. That was under duress. That's that old school bullying you always hear about. And I'm the victim here. Me and Frankie Valli. Richie's been dead for quite a time. Mia said, why do I feel like Christine made that Hey W sign? That was in the latest episode. That Hey W sign is the portable sign that we needed to get for Mexico because we couldn't travel with our usual gear. So it was a smaller portable sign. David said, Brody King Hey W was awesome. And as if you needed another endorsement. David liked it. Rose said, happy not birthday. David said, please make sure you say hello, Christine. Can't wait to meet you in person. He can wait. Nell said, you shamed the whole cult with the Richie Valens mistake. Do you see this? Do you see? We fuck up, okay? I got a lot on my plate. Kevin Featherstone said, I trust you had a great birthday. Do you get any time to watch any of the matches live while at work? Are you busy during the show? It's very frustrating. In the beginning, I used to have time. The show would start, and I used to kick back and watch it, usually from the crowd. Now, I really miss most of the show. I want to say I have not watched at All In, perfect example. I was able to see 2 matches. And even then, it was while doing stuff. So I want to give it my full attention. I want to sit back and, appreciate it, enjoy it. What I sometimes do get to do, which is nice, is when we do 0 hour, sometimes we're on like a perch, we're in like a box, and we throw to the matches, and then we can watch the match somewhat uninterrupted. God, I would love to just sit and watch a show. And it's also hard, especially in smaller places, little theaters. It's hard to just walk out there. I feel like I'm just walking into the middle of shit. You have to watch on a screen backstage, and we have all monitors with different camera angles. You don't know which one they're going to use, which one they're not. You want to hear the commentary. You want to hear the crowd. So no, I've never watched any AEW. Matt Sandy said, have you listened to Frank Sandopaggio's new podcast yet? Yes, I listened to the premiere episode, Remembering Gilbert. Frank is the reason that I made certain choices in my career that helped me immensely, which he had nothing directly to do with. I was inspired by his path. So I walked down a similar road, and it was very helpful to me. So I love his work, period. So he's great. David said, lots of Leos on the roster, on my family roster as well. By the way, you can listen to David and I on Talk is Jericho discussing the Pee-wee as himself documentary with Chris Jericho. And David fucked up the time, so he took it while driving. He's driving while recording the episode. It's a real marvel of technology. Mia said, I need to make one of those shows one day. Messani said, is Colt going to be able to make it after the beating he took last night? We'll see. Luckily, I do all the fucking writing anyway. So he really doesn't have a lift of finger. He could be ahead just as long as the microphone reaches him. Christine said, Dara, make sure you say hello to Harley, too. She's a delight. Ryu said, do you have an underwear merch? No, we've been through this before. And I don't have any because it's so expensive. It's expensive to put out underwear, unfortunately. Dara said, yeah, I've been to the other 2 shows because I'm in Chicago, but never did the meet and greet after because I thought it was for VIP tickets. Dara, you are cheating yourself. The show ends. We walk in that room. You come and you fucking say hello. Do you hear me? Mia said, I have a sparkly strap with my Google Watch. I didn't ask. Leo said, should the tuxedo match come back? Or was that a Vince fetish thing that should stay in the past? My understanding is that the first tuxedo match was a Mid-South thing. And it wasn't Vince. I think Jim Duggan... Yeah. Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase, tuxedo cage match. And it was serious shit. DiBiase was outraged that Jim Duggan won the best dressed man in Mid-South vote rather than him. So this was made a tuxedo match. That's fucking incredible. Also, apparently, Ted DiBiase was known in Mid-South as the Big Cheese, which is such a good... Let's bring that one back. Was he really? Yeah. The Big Cheese. What a fucking... Well, bring that back. What are we doing? Millions of wrestlers out here without nicknames. And they could be calling themselves the Big Cheese. Lee, I just fucking read that. So Sierra, with a lovely, lovely tribute, giving you money days after your birthday instead of spending time picking out a gift like the childless aunt that I am. I just wish this $50 was crumpled up and shoved into my hand as you kissed me on the cheek goodbye. Thank you. Sean said the Bobby Hill was surprisingly good. I completely disagree. Daryl said happiest of not happiest to you. Mia said, speaking of pants, I love the ones he wore on Hey W with Brody. Were they velvet? And so if there's anyone who has knowledge of pants in this chat, please raise your hand. They were like a non-ridged corduroy. Is that still corduroy? Rose said, I saw a film with Alan Rickman where he attempted a vague country accent and it was terrible. The worst accent ever, as we all know, was Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. Neil said, Rob is laughing out loud as Brody threatening you. He's like, oh, that was great. And it's like, yeah, it was fun. Cool. Thanks. And then like later on at the building, he was like, oh, we had a cool whatever. And then like he walked out the door and then opened the door and put his head back in and said, you're going to leave that Richie Valens thing in, right? You better leave it in. And what am I going to do? Out of respect for the man, I had to leave it in. Yes, I am the victim here, David. Leo said, is Hank Hill like Jim Ross? Sure. Christine said, was the Brody Hay sign the same one as the folded one at the Tony Hay at the WrestleLance brunch? Yes, it is. By the way, for my dear, dear, dear Key to the City members, the full WrestleLance brunch is now a Key to the City members exclusive. In full, it has everything. There's more crinkling in here. I don't know what this is. I will also try to go through it this week and put up clips. So that'll be nice. Leo said, will Kevin Federline have a match in AEW? Yes, and it'll be against me. David Arquette said, big woke dick. Indeed a great shirt. And no one's penis. I mean, he's more... There's dicks that are bigger. Okay? There's dicks that are woker. But if you think of big penises that are also woke, you think of David Arquette. Dave said, such a great Hey W episode. So many great lines. Probably my favorite being al dente. Was it intentional to have the interview with a straight-edge wrestler in a bar? No, it was not. That's where we filmed. That was Pro Wrestling Tees upstairs. That's also where Colt Cabana hosts a lot of the Pro Wrestling Tees whatnots, which is outstanding. Kyle said, hey, RJ, thanks for the new Hey W. Love the questions about hardcore. Well, I learned about it. Neil said, why are you trying to break up God's Hate? Okay, I asked if they're on hiatus because they said they're on hiatus, and it turns out they're not fucking on hiatus, and it's my fault. There's some scam pointing out the words don't match the reality. Mia said, did he show us his underwear? I just remembered him saying he was cold. Yes, I did. You all fucking go back to the beginning. It's like the first thing I did. Christine said, All In was seriously one of my favorite shows I've seen live. Recency bias be damned. And I will go back to this. It feels like it happened a month ago. Having a show in the afternoon, a Saturday afternoon, is fucking tremendous. It's fucking life-changing. And it was the longest show ever, but somehow, because it was in the afternoon, it made it okay. Oh, we're done by 8, 9 o'clock? This is going to be okay. Don said, I feel ashamed. Why is Don ashamed? I just want to find out if I know. Thinking today's Hey was a rerun, confusing Brody for the butcher. You're racist against people who look like they're racist. David says, does the tuxedo match the drapes? Yes, because they're all rentals. Perverted Harley Cameron here and said, take your shirt off. Why is it on? What is this bullshit? Mia said, I agree. All in Texas was a great show. I loved it more because it was on a Saturday. It was the matinee hem, which I've always been dreaming of. Nail said, is this a new Talk is Jericho? Is it out yet or is it an old one? This is new. This came out, I think, 2 weeks ago. Jericho does this weird thing where, like, the episode comes out as a podcast, and then maybe a week or two later when the YouTube version is out, he'll post about it. So I hadn't even been tagged in any of it. I think I shared it. It's on my I posted on my community tab for sure. If you scroll down a bit, it's there. Maybe he hated it. Maybe he's burying it. Why don't you sell your underwear? Ryu, great question. I've been asked many, many times. And my understanding, people want to buy the underwear. People also want to buy the old gear. They're usually gentlemen of a homosexual variety. And many times I needed the money, and I thought, well, let's just, who gives a shit? What are they doing? They're sitting here. Difference isn't made. And they would want pictures of the underwear, and they would want a price. And then after that, you would hear nothing from them. And then I realized their fetish is in just negotiating prices. Miss Andy said Paul Jones and Jimmy Valiant had a tuxedo match in NWA, and I would assume that would predate. But I also feel like, let's see what year that was. This one I think is a little more. It's 1984, so I'd say it's a similar time. When was the? They beat them by a year. Jim Duggan and Ted DiBiase, the Big Cheese, was 1985. I didn't know, but Paul Jones and Jimmy Valiant, that was more of a typical like managers. Let's have a good time match. James said there was a group in Mid-South called the Rat Pack. I think it was DiBiase, Bone, and Duggan. They are great. They are great at great names. Ryu York, he can't because he poopies in them from so much wet fart. Gee, it's good to see Harley again. Leo said, why effing cheese? It smells. Why not the big cake or the big sausage? I think anyone can be the big sausage if they wanted to. Wasn't Luigi Primo in many ways a big sausage? Harley's just saying hello. She said, good morrow. I don't need this shit. Christine said, we need Darnell for his pants discourse. I'm going to text him. It's a great question. Doing my coffee show now, we had a question. I have pants that are corduroy but not ridged, I guess. As seen in the Brody King episode. Are they considered corduroy or must they have the ridges? And if not, what are they? Great pull, Christine. A friend who's a fucking stylist. I ain't fucking messed it. Leo said, why do you think getting underpants as merch is so expensive to do? Because they require a lot of material, especially compared to a t-shirt. The amount of sewing and the thing in the front and then the back and the shape, and then you got to put a band around it. I feel like it's much easier to make a t-shirt. I also think less people buy them in general, so they make them more expensive. Cam said, I think they're called whale pants when the corduroy is less ribbed. Mia said, Harley, I need you to come to the Boca Raton show in August. I must meet your lovely face. Harley said, tell Matt to bring me back. Of course, last time she was there, she wrestled in a team with Johnny Fairplay. Real high watermark for professional wrestling. Neil said, Brody with the big woke dick energy, leave it in. Mia said, oh, exclusive content, can't wait. Kyle said, you're killing us with this mic quality, bro. That sounds like I'm watching TV in the 1990s. Who the fuck is Kyle Thompson to come? What are you talking about? No one has complained about this. Leo said, have you ever pitched David Arquette having an AEW match? Yes. So wait. Okay. No. Let me recant that. I have not pitched him having a match. It has been brought up, and I facilitated when it was brought up. I never vouched for it personally, but after it was already on the table, I volunteered to help make it happen. There was, and this is not, there are so many parties involved in this, it is not my story to tell, so I cannot tell it. But there was certainly a match on the table at one point that, due to a butterfly effect of circumstances, no longer happened. David did show up before I was there. David was supposed to be in AW before me, and he showed up on the wrong date. It was Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega. That's how long ago it was. And it was supposed to be in LA, and he mistakenly showed up 3 weeks early in Chicago, where the match was not taking place. So he had nothing to do. Red Dog said, good morning. RJ, Harley, and everyone's watching videos about the Coldplay concert of Fair Stuff and ran late. How much is there to watch? I mean, after the 10 seconds of that, I think you got it. Harley had a request saying, take off the shirt while singing New Girl in Town. So I'm putting it back on. It's now cold because the zipper's very cold. Excuse me. All right, I'm good. I'm back. And as per that awful request, used to be sad, used to be shy. Funniest part, saddest part, I never knew why. Kicking myself for nothing was my favorite sport. I had to get out and start the living because life's too short. There's a new girl in town and she's feeling good. Got a fair freckled face in the neighborhood. There's a new girl in town, and if she's so straight, she's just passing through. But if it's right, she's gonna stay a while. There, you got it. She wrote, I wasted my money. Damn, new request. Wet fart on the photos wall behind. That's not how the fucking shit works. You got your fucking song and that's it. End it. Your money is worth the same as everybody else. It's $1 is $1. So Sierra fucking threw $50 at me. She didn't ask for shit. And here you are throwing change at my face, thinking you can make a double request. Fuck you. James said, RJ, which country music legend would have been on the plane seat that Buddy Holly sat in? That was Waylon Jennings. Wow. I did not know that. So speaking of Waylon Jennings, Renee and I think did I tell the story? Renee and I were walking to the sound check the day before All In, and we passed this store, cowboy store, whatever the fuck they have in Texas. She bought a Waylon Jennings hat, which was unnecessary. Just trying to ingratiate herself to the locals. And she was talking to the guy behind the counter, and then bought the hat. And he said, yeah, Waylon Jennings is great. And she goes, Shooter Jennings, his son, big wrestling fan. And no one responded. And she left in total silence. It was like, we sold you the fucking hat. We got your money. Get the fuck out of the store. Miss Sandy said, at World's End 23, Brody slammed into the barrier and my beer almost spilled. And I said something to him about it. And he yelled, fuck your beer back to me. Lauren said, can Harley be president? Anyone can. I know she can't. I don't think she's a citizen. Chronic Snake said, I listened to Jericho for you. That was tough, but you were great, though. Harley requests are the best part of the morning. Yeah, okay. Lola said, you're taking off your top, gave awkward stripper vibes. David said, I got hostage vibes with that shirt removal. In many ways, yes. Can Anthony Maniscalco wish Rob a happy birthday, please? Who the fuck is Anthony Maniscalco? This is Anthony Maniscalco. I'm Sebastian's brother. I don't do stand-up comedy. I think it's for fucking losers. I'm an injury attorney. So if you had a fall, if you slipped and tweaked your knee, you come to me. You know what I'm saying? You know these people walking down the hall? They got the water. Everybody's drinking water like this. You know what I'm saying? And then they spill it on the floor like this. And then people come by and they go like this. So if that happens to you, come talk to me. A special happy birthday to a guy named Rob and New York. I like to put my town, the city I live in, after my name so everyone can locate me. You know, if they see me, walking down the street, they want to say, hey, that's him and he's here. That way they know it's me. A happy birthday to you. And as you're getting older, as you're walking in and out of office buildings and doctors, you see these doctors, they put the stethoscope on. Can I listen to your heart? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it sounds good. Oh, it does. So happy birthday to you. That was Anthony Maniscalco, injury attorney. John said, Brody King was great, brother. Christine said, I forgot to mention that Efren was at the brunch. I hugged him before he could say no. Wow. Ash said, there are women who will buy them. Straight women, no, there's not. Straight women don't buy underwear or gear. It is only men, gay men and straight men are only that perverted to spend money on underwear or old gear for men only. If you are a fucking straight, not even lesbian woman, if you are a woman of any kind who owns a wrestler's gear or underwear, speak up. Leo said, you know that thing where people sell kiss cards? What about fart cards for all the fart fetishes, which I'm getting? I think it's supposed to be fart in a jar. They fart in like a mason jar, and then they bottle it up. And then you got to wrap it. They're expensive because there's a lot of overhead. There's a lot of the shipping logistics are very rough. Asian Joe said, what non-wrestling related TV or web show would you want to host? There was a show that was hosted by someone I ended up meeting and was a lovely person, but I was obsessed with this show in Canada. And it was called Inside the Box. And it was a game show all about TV trivia. It was like 21 questions about TV characters or shows. And it was like Guess Who? You had a board, and it was a good show. Let me see if I can. The host was Sam Kalea. Inside the Box. Let me see if I can explain how this works. Debuted 2006. There's no way. Christine absolutely knows Inside the Box. It was syndicated in the U.S. It was such a cheap game show. The grand prize was $10,000. It only ran for 2 seasons. They also produced Game On and You Bet Your Ass, one of my favorites. The game had a similar format to 20 questions with a few minor twists. 3 rounds in total are played. 3 contestants compete for a chance at $10,000. The first 2 rounds, each contestant gets a turn inside a television-shaped booth called The Box, which contains 2 monitors, while the other 2 players are seated at separate desks with single monitors. The contestant inside the box is given a basic category to indicate what kind of answer is being sought, like a series, reality series, male actor, female character, etc. And a list of questions on a touch-sensitive screen and reads questions from a selected list to one of their 2 opponents. The opponents outside the box are shown only a photograph and the name of the character, actor, or show, which is the correct answer on their monitor screen. So if the person you're asking to gets the answer wrong, they lose points too. And points are converted into... The scoring is based on time. For instance, if a player correctly identifies the answer with 35 seconds to spare, those 35 seconds are added to their score. Final round, the champion is given 2 minutes. Instead of asking their opponents the yes-no questions, they ask them to the host. The champion is given a starting clue, and every 5 yes responses earns another clue. However, the clock does not stop in the final round. They give them 3 chances to give the answer. The amount of money in the pot is reduced by $500 every 6 seconds until time runs out. If they give 3 incorrect answers or time runs out, they take the minimum consolation prize of $500, which is the correct amount to reward someone who knows television trivia. Local stations. It would often replace Merv Griffin's crosswords. And then both shows were canceled in 2009. It was on Comedy Gold, Canada's E! Channel, and Game TV. But it was so... I used to watch it. I want to see who wrote on it. I used to watch this show every day before high school. It was on at like 6 a.m. and it was fucking best. Sorry. Wow, boy, did I get fired up. James said, Brody came with the elusive second appearance club of Hey W on the episode today. Well, the first one was a haunting. Prisma said, the mic is a bit crackly. Fuck you. But I don't think there's much you can do about it on a laptop. Exactly. David said, that response is that it's clear they didn't want me. Well, look, we can try again. You did Hey. You were the first person to do Hey without anything else. David said, all dressed up and no place to wrestle. Where am I? I'm behind David having a match. Amy said, I want to make sure Harley knows about Vent Haven Museum in the Cincinnati area, where the 2 shows are next month. Is a fantastic museum dedicated to ventriloquism. The Vent Haven Museum. David, did you turn up with the Scream Mask? Or are you not allowed to do that? Mikey said, sorry, as someone who travels a lot, do you use an eSIM? We're flying to Scotland. No, I don't. I take the hit, and I have an obscenely expensive phone bill, no matter what I do. And I just have just make sure I have the converter plug. Don said, the stream doesn't glitch when you have no shirt on. Interesting phenomenon. Ellie said, this reminds me of Buffalo Bill's Dance in Silence of the Lambs. David said, they always try to do a Ghostface bit when I wrestle. It's always a cheap shot. I will say, they did try to do that during the pandemic in NXT. Remember they tried to... This I can talk about, because fuck them. Do you remember that? And they tried to contact you to do a really stupid Ghostface thing? I was not a fan. I didn't support it. Prisma said, are you looking forward to Scotland? I don't imagine a little known fact. My father is from Scotland, so I can feel compelled or obligated to spend some time looking around and embracing who I am as a person. I know little about it. I don't think I'm going to be there that long, but I'm going to try. Renee was like, I just want to see castles and cows. I'm like, we have those at home. What do I need that for? I want to see the moors. Dorothy said, has anybody participated in the Mrs. Roper romp? I'll be participating in my first one in September. I have not. Where are you doing this? I want to know. Christine has a request to do Harley's photo request, please. This is just fucking bullshit. This is total fucking bullshit. It's insulting to me as an artist. It's insulting to me as a man and as a human being. And it makes me feel worse. David said, Shooter Jennings, when a comment goes unnoticed. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You've had quite a few of those. Mike said, Waylon has a great cameo on Follow That Bird. I would argue it's more than a cameo. He's in that. He gets a whole song. Ain't no mountain we can't climb. If you jump into it, just make up your mind. There's a time for moving on. There ain't no road too long. This is a fucking fantastic for fucking Follow That Bird. It is just an incredible song. The Anthony Maniscalco, why would you do that, law firm? I said, did I miss the underwear reveal? Yes, but I just jumped on the fucking couch and farted on art. It's an art fart. Prisma said, this week's Hey W hint was easy. Have you actually seen The Wire? No. There was a great joke in A Cynical Crafter where there was whatever we were doing in the craft, I can't remember which one it was. I needed Wire. And I said, has anyone seen The Wire? I want to know why you haven't seen The Wire. David said, found my new lawyer. Rob said, I would pay more attention to Morgan & Morgan radio commercials if they hired Anthony Maniscalco to do them. Mia said, Sebastian Maniscalco's new show was canceled on HBO, so his brother Anthony's trying to help. Has anyone seen this awful movie that Sebastian Maniscalco did with Robert De Niro? I think Sebastian oh God, my watch. I think Sebastian Maniscalco could be an excellent actor but it's hard to evolve. You know, your producers don't want you to do it. They want you to ride with the same shit that you fucking started with, you know? So it's hard. It's a gamble. David said, this makes me so sick. Oh, this makes so much sense. RJ's been living inside the box this whole time. Christine said, oh my God, I used to watch Inside the Box every morning getting ready. Yes. Leo said, I hope we get blood and guts soon. Well, because you're a sick person. Leo said, are you looking forward to the O2? Yes. I really, really am. It makes me incredibly happy to... The thing about... I don't know if I'm weird, but sometimes places are so big that they lose the sense of atmosphere. Last year, I liked the Wales show crowd more than I liked Wembley. Sometimes it's so big, you know? I like when stuff is small. I like the smaller places. We're back. We're fine. Everything's okay. Christine said the Brody King episode was episode 149, so the next episode is going to be 150. Holy shit, kids. What a fucking journey. Rowdy K said, are you going to see Masquerade the Immersive Phantom when it opens in New York? So, let me look that up. I want to see what the fucking deal is. What's immersive? That I have to fucking dress up for it? Celebrate the Phantom's return instructions. Hide your face. A black, white, or silver mask is required for entry and must be worn at all times. Guests are encouraged to wear their own masquerade mask that celebrates the occasion and reflects personal style. If you don't have one, we'll provide a complimentary mask on arrival. The night demands extravagant attire. I'm out already. You're fucking costing me more money. I want to pay for a ticket and that's it. Black, white, or silver only. Stilettos are forbidden. Wear shoes and clothing you can move in. You will receive a secret password 24 hours prior to entry. You will give it at the door. There are no physical tickets. You and everyone in your party must have the password. Entry requires valid photo ID. Do not be late. Masquerade is a journey, including haze, strobe lights, and laser effects. Jesus. So are we... I don't understand this. I also feel like I don't know if I want to do this. He feels too gimmicky to me. I mean, they shut down the old one. The old one's beautiful. It's not explaining what it is. You just say immersive. Stop saying immersive. As if like that's like a substitute for it being good. The jury's out. I gotta wait and see. Neil said, "Oh, big week next week. Why?" Misa, what's your cheat meal for today? It's a brunch, a seafood brunch and pizza, and Italian ice. This is my deferred birthday dinner. Miss Annie said, when AMC was actually about American movie classics, they had a game show about classic movies called The Movie Masters. It was hosted by Gene Rayburn. Oh, I gotta look this up. Mia said, episode 150 next week. I wonder if we get a special outfit. No, you do not. Christine said, yes, I was getting ready for work, not high school because I'm old. Vanessa said, I enter to RJ jumping on the bed and farting. Harley must be here. Really, really dictates the pace of the show. Leo said, do you love your CBC tank tops from Cynical Crafter? Most of them. Why did I think? I don't think I sold them. But I think I gave some away, or maybe I just threw some out. But I have most of them. There's ones I definitely don't have anymore. Because I remember the ones I have. Not all of them. Neil said, if you had your watch on, could you have checked your heart rate during the wet fart roulette? Yes, I could have. And I'm so happy I didn't. Sebastian said, why did RJ say he toss his watch? He wanted to see if time could fly. Fucking awful. Just fucking awful. I hope Anthony Maniscalco becomes a weekly bit here. Have you seen any of those bad Bruce Willis movies he made in the last few years? I haven't seen any bad Bruce Willis movies. I haven't seen any Bruce Willis movie. Mike said, Wales crowd. Oh, the Whales. You spelled Wales with an H, and I thought you were talking about the fish. It's probably the best AEW crowd of all time. I'm trying to think of the best one I've been a part of. I would say like the first Hammerstein show struck me as very good. The Toronto, the Forbidden Door crowd was fucking outstanding. Vanessa said, and we're frozen. Nice to know some things have changed. Vanessa's moved by the consistency here. Mia said that movie with Sebastian Maniscalco, Robert De Niro is on Peacock. I saw it when I was choosing a movie to watch. Leo said, I saw Cyndi Lauper at the O2 this year, and then AEW there, and then Lord. Leo's just going to stay at the O2. Mass Sanity said, Sebastian Maniscalco was very good in The Irishman. What are these guys doing? They're Irish? David said, I'll get you tickets for your birthday. Let me know when. I don't want to dress up. Let it come out first. Let me see what it is, and then I'll decide. Leo said, when I went to Wembley last year, I got stuck next to two geeks who spent their time talking about insider rubbish and then body shamed Tony and Mariah and then left after Hook versus Jericho. These people are the best. Great point, Nails. You got to bring photo ID, but you have to wear a mask. Are we immersed or are we not? This doesn't feel very immersive to me. Original Sin said, I saw Tekla got her all-elite graphic. We're happy for her. How long are they going to make RJ wait? Great fucking question I ask every day. So, like I said, immersive is better than submersible. Don't buy a ticket. That was the water world. Lauren said, Vanessa, are you going to be at Mystery Wrestling? Who, by the way, Mystery Wrestling, I believe, is today. And also, they're doing one in Toronto the day after All Out. You go in. You go out. Leo said the creation of the O2 as the Millennium Dome is very interesting as it turned out to be terrible. It was a huge failure until it was revamped in an arena. This is our local London historian, Leo. I went in 2000 when Millennium Dome was very boring and just endless Costa coffees at McDonald's. I remember drinking a really gross hot chocolate. Rowdy Katie said they have not said what the immersive part of Masquerade will be, which is annoying. They're requiring people to dress up for the first few nights, but that's it. I'm not going until I know what it is. I'm on your fucking side, Katie. That is a great, great choice. Christine said, for the residency, do you still travel as normal or do you stay in that city? Well, it depends on how the residency are structured. So, for example, Hammerstein, I stayed. It's Christmas. It's in the middle of the city, and the shows were so close in a row. But obviously, with Chicago, it's like spread over 3 weeks. And sometimes I'll stay. Obviously, next week I'm going to stay because we have the comedy show the next day. But a lot of times I'll go back and forth. But it's still nice to, like, it's the same hotel, it's the same building. And I also think it's not technically a residency, even though it is, because there are other shows going on in between AEW shows, like concerts and stuff. So we would still have to take shit down. You know what I mean? Original Sin said, Forbidden Door 2023, we were there. Wife and I, best crowd ever. Leo said, I hated how GCW tried to go tribal after AEW announced Hammerstein. Like Hammerstein's their venue, dorks. Look at Leo just shooting. Rob said, dressing up as the Phantom is too humiliating. Wet fart on art webcam, however. Christine said, Vanessa, I hope you're at Toronto Mystery Wrestling. Vanessa said, I plan on being in Toronto September 21st for the Toronto Mystery Wrestling. I wouldn't miss it. Unsure if I'll be wrestling. Hence the mystery. Christine said, oh, maybe we'll stay overnight for All Out weekend. You go all in, you go all out. Neil said, Alpha 1 The Purge is also today. Watch all the wrestling. You don't have to. Watch Hey, watch this, and go to bed. Leo said there was an inside the body part of the dome where you walked into a giant fiberglass person and saw all their body parts. Got to look this up now. Ew. This is insane. Hold on. You got to see this. Sorry, everybody. Arena. Here we go. That's nuts. Just disgusting and nuts. That's horrific. Kyle said now that he's back, you should get Scorpio Sky on AEW. I think I should. That was disgusting. Leo said also look up the Millennium Dome Diamond Heist. I'm not now. Mia said I'm watching a week's worth of Days of Our Lives. God bless you. Suplexer said, I like that video Renee posted of you on the boat with Dean Martin playing. You look like a boat guy. Like Yacht Rock is one of your favorites. Yeah, I looked. If there's one thing you can say about me, it's that I'm nautical. James said, Gesundheit. Rose said, salute. I want to say, put the God back and bless you. Mike said God. Mia said bless you. Nail said bless you. Vanessa said bless you. Christine said bless you. Put the God back in bless you. Can't say God anymore. Leo said, I remember there being a bug inside the body of the movie. This is fucking horrific. Mia said, while eating a personal pizza. David said, a Bozo the Clown pie versus pie match would kill in Chicago. David has pitched that and wasn't quite picked up on. Didn't really rouse everybody, unfortunately. Christine said, what should I wear to my writing teacher's book launch event this afternoon? Writing teacher's book launch event. Jeans, loafers, button-down shirt. Can't go wrong. Casual, but it's like accidentally formal, which is what you want to go to for a book launch. You're like, I'm so busy reading. I have so many novels to get through. I barely have time to get dressed. Kevin said, God's last name is not damn it. Jesus? What? I'm going to look up if Jesus had a last name. Oh, I see. It was just not. He was just, I see. He was either Jesus of Nazareth. They just used, so similar to Nails in New York and Rob in New York. They didn't do the last names back then. It was just of Nazareth. And then there became so many people. They said, but this is not effective. It used to be just if you were Jesus, you would have been just Jesus. And then they, there's a lot of people, a lot of Jesus popped up, and they said, well, you should specify Jesus from where. So then, Jesus of Nazareth, you wrote that for a while, and they said, well, now we've got to make this. Then you have to have your ID and wear a mask at the same time. Leo said, what is a pie versus pie match? Loser gets pied, more of a GCW thing, although they almost once killed David. I would say you would have a lineup of pies. It's similar to a TLC match. It's like, what does it mean? You're like, I don't know. Like, pies are legal, I think is the best way to say this. David said they don't know shit, not to mention some over there don't like comedy and wrestling, especially when it's not funny. But Bozo, the business is booming. Go enjoy Bozo the Clown. Go follow him on Instagram. All the new things that are coming up. The albums, the world's friendliest clown. There's more to come for some reason. Original Sin said, no, but seriously, thank you to everyone involved with All In last weekend. Don't thank me. This is not the place to leave this. It's well-intentioned, but it's the wrong address. No, but seriously, thank you to everyone involved with All In last weekend, top to bottom, left to right. It's actually reignited that part of me that wants to share wrestling clips with non-fans. Good for you. Pies are legal, baby. Kevin said, pie fight battle royal. Connor said, what about cheesecakes? Are they legal? Cam said, you went to Catholic school but didn't know Jesus' last name. Well, I wonder. You don't know. It was such a long time ago. You wonder things about the Bible that were missed, and then they said you shouldn't be gay, then they said you should be gay. You don't know. It's the same way we're biting hard on dinosaurs and Jurassic Park, and then it's all feathers. Turns out they all had feathers, and you're like, well, I also love how we went, you know what? We're not going to do this feather shit on the dinosaurs in the movie. We don't like it. We don't like how it looks. It's not scary enough. We're not going to revise. And we're also not going to pretend this is inaccurate. We're just going to ignore the history of it. That's the important thing here. We didn't like it. And so I didn't know. Sometimes you hear things about Jesus, and then for how many you tell me we went to Catholic school? And decades go by, and I found out Jesus was probably black. Not in my school, he wasn't. He was pretty fucking Italian, according to the drawings. Loved that shit. Fucking hyped up about all that shit. It was a wild, wild time. Leo said, you have to wipe the pie from your eye. You have to, yes. Okay, so if you're in a pie fight, you have to go like this, or else you'll get disqualified. Jesus was absolutely Italian in my school. Macedonian at worst. He was the most Italian. He had a little mustache. And to think, he probably looked like someone closer to Barry White, He's something that certainly the Italians have chosen to ignore. Rose said, Jesus was white at my Catholic school located in a black neighborhood. Rob said, hey, Judy, don't be a putz. David said, love you all. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Vanessa said, of Nazareth is very Italian. It's not that it is how it's pronounced. Mia said, have a great week, everyone. Oh, yeah, that is the show. Go watch the Hey W with Brody King. Go watch, go like, go comment, go share. Go do it now. Go enjoy yourself. There's so much shit going on today and now. Go do it. Okay? Look, underwear, having a good time. All the art has farts on it.